Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 245.
You know what? This is going to be a really special episode. We've got a lot to talk about. We're going to be doing a lot of really cool, like, just kind of random DVD, streaming picks, movies that you may have missed, movies that we really enjoy, and we're going to talk about Christmas movies. It's going to be a free-form, free-flowing episode.
It is. Yeah, we're going to release another episode later this week, too, from Shriekfest, which I know was a while ago, but...
Yeah, but it's got some really cool interviews about a couple movies we talked about, and also some great interviews with the filmmakers. And for the first time ever, Correspondent did a lot of the interviews. The Neil T. Weekly. That's right. So you get to hear him interview filmmakers.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we the other reason this is special is we've got a really special sponsor this week. And what I really like about this sponsor, this is Sherry's Berries. They really stepped it up this week, the week before Christmas.
First they sent us
a bunch of strawberries. I can't tell you how effective that is. As if you're an advertiser or an ad agency and you have a good product, send it to the hosts.
Yeah, man.
It's oh my god. There's no other. There's no better way to get us on board than to send us a bunch of delicious strawberries. In fact, my kids got so excited they recognized the logo on the box when we came home, and they were gone. A dozen strawberries gone in about a day and a half. They were gone. They literally tore into them.
Yeah, I left your house, or so we were working late, and you had to go, and I saw that box on your front door, and I was like, well, wait a minute. Now I better be getting one of these. I was like, this is messed up. They're just sending them to Chris?
Yeah.
Well, then he's doing the goddamn ad read if I don't get a box.
Or I'm thinking in your head, you're thinking, well, if I take these, then if I get mine, I'll bring them back.
Yeah, but maybe it gives Chris with the couple that have been sampled.
Yeah.
That he can give to the cat. But yeah, I got home and then I walked up to my apartment. I was like, oh yes,
yeah.
Hello.
It's on.
It is on.
Strawberry work it.
Oh. Hashtag strawberry work it. This is, and I remember last year for Mother's Day, I sent these to my mom.
Yeah.
Loved them.
Absolutely. You can't go wrong. And we have a coupon code for you guys, so you can actually get the dipped strawberries from Sherry's Berries starting at $19.99. And with Christmas coming next week, here's the way you get this amazing $19.99 deal. You go to the site, berries.com, berries.com, and there's like a little microphone up top. You click on that and you type in CFN, and you will get a code. And then you could double the berries for just $10 more. Amazing. And the code is CFN. The other way you could get there is if you go from our website, from Comedy Film Nerds, we have a Sherry's Berries ad up top. You could click on us and then go through there.
Yeah, and this is one of those gifts that's like, oh, man, what do I buy this person? Or what? Or like a family.
Right.
You know, like, I'm not buying gifts for that whole family, but I'll give them a bunch of strawberries.
Yeah, make them fight over it like a bunch of hillbillies.
Have some sort of Sherry's Berries blood feud. Like, you took the last berry. Shooting muskets at each other.
That's white chocolate, my favorite. You now done it.
So, start a hillbilly blood feud.
Over Sherry's Berries. Hashtag hillbilly blood feud. Strawberry work it.
Strawberry work it. Couple of great hashtags, guys, and use the coupon code.
Now, here's the second half of this amazing offer. This is why I love this. There is more. The Sherry's Berries really stepped it up this year because it's right before Christmas, and they're like, well, it's not enough just to give a little discount to everybody. Mm-hmm. Why don't we just give away a bunch of free berries to 10 people? Oh, yeah, here it comes. If you buy anything in the store starting now, the next 10 people that buy something in the store will get not a coupon, a gift card from Sherry's Berries for $50 for anything in the store. Right there. So if you buy something in the store for $25, you've made $25.
get your Christmas shopping done
right now.
Right now.
Yeah, it's great. The other thing is it's not even just the berries. They've got like all sorts of little cake pops and cherries and cookies and stuff.
It's got to be a hard item out of the CFN store.
It's got to be a hard. Yeah, you can't get a download and expect us to ship you this. We're not. If you buy any physical product in our store starting right now, the next 10 people will get $50. Each get a $50 gift card for Sherry's Berries.
$50 gift card.
Yeah, it's not like I said. It's not a coupon. It's it. You get these free. It's amazing.
This is an amazing deal, dude.
We were actually thinking of like, well, maybe we'll give away 8 and keep 2. But
why didn't we do that?
Yeah, we should have. But all right, you guys are getting all 10.
All right.
So go do it. What are you waiting for? Seriously.
I know this isn't live radio, but seriously,
you hesitated. Stop.
Go. Do it. Go. Go. Yeah.
Buy a CFN book.
Oh,
and then you get and eat strawberries while you're reading it.
Right, you're reading it.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah. Or make gifts, or you're just some weird hoarder, some weird book strawberry hoarder that doesn't have friends. Then this is a good deal for you too.
Yeah,
yeah.
Of course. I mean, you could actually you could get like anything from like our book to the new Dana Gould CD, anything, and then you're going to get $50 worth of free strawberries.
All right, man. Go to berries.com, you guys.
Yep, BERRIES. You will not be disappointed.
And coupon code CFN.
Yep. So now, Graham, this is just you and I in the Gargoyle Garage, although we're never truly alone with gargoyles.
No, we're not.
I wanted to just kind of do like just some random kind of DVD and streaming picks. It's the holidays are coming up. A lot of people got family in town, wanted just throw a DVD in or watch some streaming. There's a lot of time off from work. Just enjoy a couple movies that you may have missed.
Yeah, weather's bad, and for many of you living in the northern parts of the U.S. or whatever.
Yeah, I don't miss that.
No, no.
Coming to living up in the Philly suburbs, I'm like, okay, I don't have to shovel anything anymore. This is great.
So I saw a movie that was recommended to me by my friend,
by a hoarder,
by a hillbilly hoarder. And he was like, you need to watch this movie. Next time you're making muskrat stew, you need to have this thing.
I'll give you my VHS tape.
You can have yourself a berry blood feud. So this was recommended to me by a hoarder. It's called Under the Electric Sky. And it is, I'm going to bring it here up on IMDb. Here's the thing with Under the Electric Sky. Oh God, my computer's freezing up. That's not good while we're recording an episode. So here's the thing. It's Under the Electric Sky. My friend who is Simon Rust Lamb is the
attorney.
He is the attorney who also is the executive producer of this film, and it is. Is
that why I recommended it?
He goes no, because I remember him telling me that he worked on this film, and he goes, you should check this out because he is also the I think COO for Insomniac, which is the company that produces the Electric Daisy Carnival.
Okay.
Which is like the largest electric dance music event in North America, and
does it tour?
No, it used to, but now its home is just outside of Las Vegas.
Got it.
And so I know he's been working on this festival, and he's told me about it. He said, "Hey, we're doing a documentary about it." And then, I saw him a couple weeks ago. And he goes, "Hey, man, you should check it out. It's on Netflix." And it is a cool thing. It does that thing that I've talked about in the book and numerous times when referring to documentaries, which is a good documentary brings you into a world that you're not that aware of.
Yes,
and makes it like. I'm not a big EDM guy. I don't know any of these DJs. This is not my world. And you tell me, hey, do you want to go out in the desert in May or whatever, and with 200,000 or 300,000 people and listen to DJs for 3 days? I'd say no. I don't want to do that at all. I watched this movie.
To be fair, you like glow sticks, though.
I do. I am a glow stick fan. I do have glow in the dark nunchucks. That you can drop glow sticks in. They're amazing. They're an amazing light show. But I watch this movie and I go, holy shit, I want to go to this festival because, first of all, this festival puts on amazing light displays. They basically got the Las Vegas Speedway, the infield of it, and they build these huge stages with all these light things because it's like a giant outdoor rave.
Right.
And so it's shot beautifully. I'm almost positive. I haven't had a chance to talk to Simon since I've seen it, but I'm almost positive they shot this on a red.
But what
and they use all these dollies, and it's amazing.
Well, what's the focus of like the documentary? Is it just telling about what this is, or is there a story?
It shows you what it is, but then they do that thing and they get like 4 or 5 people's storylines.
Okay,
and it really reminded me. There's similar stuff to podcasting in the sense that in what we've done with earbuds. Because they interview these people and they're like, why does this matter to you?
Right.
And they have these really personal stories of how EDM helped them through this thing. There's one guy that's in a wheelchair. There's other people who I always, it's weird because they say similar things to some of the interviews we got, which is I've always felt like an outsider, and EDM and especially this festival is all about, love and acceptance and so you see why they need to go to this festival, what's important for them, and what it means, and then and really the festival and the film, they refer to the fans as the headliners. There's some interviews with these DJs who were huge megastars,
right,
but it's really not about them, and it's about what this kind of music can do, how they go into a brief history of where it started in the 90s, and then they discuss this because I know this has been an issue. Simon has told me this, that, the underground raves got in the late 90s, early 2000s got ruined because it all became just about drugs.
Yes.
It wasn't about the music or the dancing. It was just illegal drug use.
And there were deaths.
Yeah, there were deaths that happened. And so, and they talk about that in the film, and they talk to they have a team of EMTs there who are making sure, and they say, some people take it too far, but we make sure they don't. They have a whole medical tent, and it goes, the main thing is people come out and dance all day in the desert and they don't drink enough water.
Right, dehydration.
And there's that. So the storylines of what it matters to these people was really interesting. And then it is just, they shot this. It is just mesmerizing how cool it looks and how they compose the shots. And you don't have to be, like I said, you don't have to be a fan of this kind of music to like this documentary. And I got kind of caught up in the music and the spectacle of this festival and was just like, wow, this was really, really cool. If you're an EDM fan and you haven't seen this film, you're going to love it. I mean, you're going to absolutely love it. So it's really a cool little movie about a whole new world that I didn't know about.
Right.
And, just the vibe and everything in the festival and the crazy outfits everybody's wearing and all that stuff made me go, I want to, next year if I'm around, I'm going to ask Simon. I was like, dude, you got to hook me up with some tickets to this or whatever. Because it just seemed...
And water.
Yeah, and I'll bring a lot of water. But it just really seemed, it was a cool thing. And again, the shot composition, the cinematography in this is really worth seeing. So I would check it out. It's called Under the Electric Sky. It came out earlier this year. It's worth seeing, and I know it live streams on Netflix.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to mention a family movie too, since we're getting into the Christmas season. Now, this is a movie that it's called ZATHURA, and this movie literally got no attention, no good trailers, horrible marketing, and it was a really fun, great movie. Now, it was written by the same person who did Jumanji, and it's basically the same concept where the kids find a board game, but instead of jungle themed, it's science fiction themed.
Mm-hmm. And it came out about 10 years ago.
About 10 years ago.
The name of it?
ZATHURA?
ZATHURA. Oh, I thought you were doing The Place Promised in Our Early Days. No?
Oh, no, I'll do that next.
Okay.
I wanted to... I couldn't read my own writing, so I mixed it up a little bit.
ZATHURA Space Adventure?
Yeah, that's it. Jon Favreau directed it. Actually, what year did it come out?
2005.
Yeah, so
ZATHURA
close.
Space Adventure is 2005.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing about this film. The studio clearly did not know what to do with it, did not know how to market it, and it's a shame because it's actually a really cool story about siblings growing up, and it also has this really cool science fiction device to it where they're playing the game. The house goes into space, Now they have to worry about comets, aliens, and astronauts, and all this cool stuff. But what I liked about it, I actually liked it more than Jumanji because I thought
and this is not animated.
This is not animated. Okay. This is live action. Jon Favreau directed it. And it really was a concise, succinct storyline all the way through. And that's what I really liked about it. Stan Winston had done the practical effects. The aliens look fantastic, and they're all practical. They're not CG. You could tell Jon Favreau wanted practical effects in this movie, so you actually see like the lizard-like aliens. They look real, and you've got everything as a kid that you would love about science fiction. Going into space as a kid. Robots, aliens, and comets, and just exploring. All those cool things are kind of mixed up into this great little story and this great little film. So, like I said, it got had terrible marketing. No one knew what to do with it. No one saw it, and it's definitely worth checking out. And it's, Jon Favreau does a really nice job directing it, too. So, Zathura, especially if you like Jumanji, you're going to like this movie. In fact, I would say possibly even better.
Sweet. I didn't know anything about this, and now I definitely want to see it. So the other one, though, that we were going to...
Yes.
The Place
Promised in Our Early Days. This is an anime movie that I just saw, and there, sometimes what we all do is we just browse streaming services and just look for stuff that has like really high reviews or high ratings and to see, let's see what that's about. Now, Graham, I want you to bring up the description of this film, because this is a very interesting movie, and it's one of those movies, too, that I'm still not even sure what I saw or how I feel about it.
Okay, here it is. In an alternate post-war timeline, Japan is divided into the Union-controlled North and the U.S.-controlled South.
Yeah, and that's 10% of what's going on in the
Soviet Union-controlled North? I think this is a typo.
No, it's it isn't.
Oh, it's the Union.
It's an alternate reality / universe. In fact, there's a fan description that gives a little bit more information about it, and it also has to do with it's also a coming of age tale of teenagers growing up. There's 3 teenagers, and it also has to do with alternate realities in science fiction, and it also has to do with a lot of other themes that are completely incomprehensible for this film. This is what fascinated me about this film. It was almost like watching an animated Tree of Life type film, where every scene, every line of dialogue is so calculated and so almost metaphysical, as you're listening, like there's monologues and all these speeches that the characters make and voiceover that are all kind of ethereal and kind of just wash over you, and there's a lot of hidden meaning there, but you can't always decipher it. Like it's a lot of this movie is indecipherable, but here's what made it memorable. It was one of the most beautiful animated movies I've ever seen.
Really?
That's what was so interesting about it. Like if it had just kind of had like sloppy science fiction and uncalculated, it was just average animation, it wouldn't have meant anything. But the fact that it was so beautiful to look at, it was almost hypnotic, because you have these ethereal speeches, you have these beautiful landscapes, and you have this beautiful animation. It's just one of those movies that kind of hits you on a subconscious level, even though you're not, believe me, you're not getting a lot of stuff on the surface. You're not getting a very coherent story. You're not getting into that, but you don't mind as much because of the skill of the way the film is put together. Something as simple as 2 people on a subway train in Japan looks absolutely stunning and amazing and mesmerizing. That's how beautiful this animation is. Like everything from an old, dilapidated wooden building to a cityscape to the actual airplane that they build. Like there's some kind of mysterious tower in the middle of both these areas, and another war is coming up. And one of the kids, as they're growing up, she goes into a coma, and they realize the only way we can maybe wake her up is get her near this mysterious tower that has alternate realities in it, and all this crazy science fiction stuff all kind of put together. But like I said, you don't mind it as much because it's so beautiful to look at. Every scene, every shot is just looks like almost like a painted picture or a postcard. So it's one of those movies that you have to kind of know what you're in for. I mean, I didn't know what I was in for, but I still enjoyed it. But I think you'll enjoy it more if you know it's that kind of beautiful, kind of abstract type of film. So I recommend it for that. Don't look for a solid sci-fi plot. It's not that. It's an abstract science fiction coming of age dramatic film.
Those are awesome.
Animated. And it's animated. And it's beautiful.
I want to mention the documentary I saw. It's currently on HBO right now, Mr. Dynamite, The Rise of James Brown, which I'm assuming you can get on HBO Go.
When did that come out?
That came out about a month ago. I don't know if it's still on HBO, but I'm sure you'll be able to have access to it online soon if it's not already there. So it really goes into, because I know there was that biopic that came out, the James Brown biopic came out earlier in the year. Mm-hmm. And this is a really solid documentary. And the documentaries that HBO gets are, they get really first-rate documentaries.
They take them serious.
They really do. So it really showed, and it's got great old footage of James Brown performing live. TV, cool. Live shows, black and white stuff, just really and watching this giant band, with 3 drummers or whatever, just this booming sound. And, all of James Brown, how he got there, and then how he ran things, and people who worked for him didn't like it, and all this other stuff. And there's a lot of amazing interviews too with his backup band, his backup singers, and how he ran it. It's just really intriguing. And it's a really well made doc. I put these HBO docs do next to the 30 for 30 is my 2 favorite TV station documentaries.
Oh, right. The those series.
So check this out, Mr. Dynamite, the rise of James Brown. Now we want to talk about some Christmas movies.
Yes.
We talk about these every year, and we wanted to get into some slightly different ones. So what's your first?
I wanted to talk about Gremlins. And this is the kind of movie that it's one of those movies that it doesn't necessarily hold up, but it's one of those products of its time. Especially the effects. Everything's kind of the puppetry, but it's not very advanced puppetry. But it's such a weird movie, and such a movie that it's insidious in the way that I don't know, I'm describing it very poorly, but let me start over. I'm trying to give this movie a lot of credit. I love the way, in almost a David Lynchian way, that it starts out of this is this beautiful small town, everything is great, and ultimately, what's the evil underneath or below? Kind of like a Blue Velvet kind of thing, but with furry monsters. So I love how it's Joe Dante, right?
It's Joe Dante.
Yeah, I love how he sets that up. Because he sets it up more like, well, it's kind of it's a family movie. Finding these cute little creatures, and you take one home, and don't get it wet, don't feed it after midnight. And the setup is well, what could possibly go wrong if you don't follow those rules? And
also, Phoebe Cates' backstory with her family is pretty grim.
Oh yeah.
I don't like Christmas because my dad died in the chimney. Yes. What?
And this is what I loved about that too. It became a running gag after that. Because when they did Gremlins 2, she starts making another one of those speeches about another holiday, and they stop her. So it became it was definitely it was supposed to be tongue in cheek, and but she delivered it so straight, it was great. And I love the way then it's oh my god, yeah, these things can kill you. I love the way it just kind of turned everything on its ear, especially for the time with all the the 80s consumerism. And watch this movie as a product of its time, and you'll enjoy it a lot more because it's still fun. It's still a really fun movie.
Yeah, it is fun, and it's also Joe Dante. He's not the man. He's just had one great movie after another. But there's something about his films, like The Burbs, is one of those movies. It's Tom Hanks.
And he started with Roger Corman writing those, crazy piranha movies or whatever,
And there's just something about these Joe Dante movies from the 80s that Inner Space that are just I don't know, there's a quality about them. You're well, this should be cheesy and I shouldn't like it, but
he makes you believe it.
He makes you believe it. The Burbs, was that sort of string of Tom Hanks
doing whatever script showed up on his desk.
Whatever he had to take at the time or whatever. But The Burbs has some legitimately funny moments. And again, Bruce Dern playing a weirdo neighbor who's like, what's that, Slavic? Like they just kept making that joke, and there's just hilarious moments in The Burbs. There's some cheesy moments that don't fit or whatever. But that's why, you know, you got to kind of give it up for Joe Dante. He did Small Soldiers, and he's directed a lot of TV. Not that that's a bad thing. And The Hole and whatever, Burying the X and stuff like that. But Gremlins is technically a Christmas movie. Now, my other holiday pick was Four Christmases. So this is Reese Witherspoon and Vince Vaughn, and the two couples have to visit all of four of their divorced parents on Christmas Day. And, you know, Robert Duvall's in it, Sissy Spacek, Jon Voight, and, you know, it's directed by Seth Gordon, Jon Favreau's in it. I like this movie for several reasons.
Okay, go ahead. I'll give you some cool trivia on it afterwards.
Okay. I like all these actors. And I remember having to go to two Christmases on Christmas Day as a kid growing up. You know, when my parents were divorced, we'd have Christmas at my mom's, and then we'd go to my dad and stepmom. Like, that's what we had to do.
We still do it with our kids sometimes when we go back.
Really?
Yeah, because Audrey's, my wife's family is two different. Yeah, it happens a lot.
Yeah. So that's what I liked about it. And then, you know, Robert Duvall plays the great, just hard-ass dad. Jon Favreau's the psycho brother. All of this, and you know, when you're getting
hillbilly blood feud brother.
Yeah, exactly. They got that. Sissy Spacek. I don't know. It's
got some charm to it.
Yeah, it does.
It definitely has some charm. I remember seeing it too in the theater. I'm like, you know, it's had some funny moments.
Yeah, absolutely. It does have funny moments.
Now, here's the interesting thing. I was actually going to talk about this movie, a documentary, King of Kong, which is an amazing documentary. It's the same director that directed Four Christmases.
Seth Gordon?
Yeah, Seth Gordon. And the guy that won Donkey Kong, Steve Wiebe, is one of the relatives that fell asleep at one of the houses. He put him in it like as a little cameo.
That's great.
So, which is also a great documentary, King of Kong. You want to check that out. But I think my most favorite modern Christmas family movie has got to be Elf. I know, God, we're talking a lot about Jon Favreau lately,
I know.
but it just was unintentional. But I think Elf is probably captures everything about the old school kind of Christmas specials and movies, and brings it into like this literally century because they're so old and dated. And he took all that charm and made a modern movie out of it. And I really, really like Elf. So if you have kids, even if you don't have kids, it's a great Christmas movie to see.
Well, the thing I like about Elf is the Will Ferrell never, like, I don't know how you put it, never breaks character in terms of never realizes, like when he's in the real world,
same exact character,
character, which is great, which is where the comedy comes from. And then James Caan and Bob Newhart, they're
all great in it.
It's hilarious, and this is like one of those Will Ferrell movies that, you know, you're letting him do his thing in the right format with the right people, I think.
Right.
So that's what makes it work.
Yeah, it was definitely one of those movies where all the right pieces came together properly and made just a really, like, you have a smile on your face the whole movie.
Yeah.
No matter what age you are.
There's just great jokes in there.
Just when he jumps on the tree and falls. It's just so goofy and fun. It's a great holiday movie.
All right. My last Christmas movie pick, again, I know it takes place during Christmas time, is Stalag 17.
Well, technically, okay.
The William Holden classic. It is a 1953 William Holden. Billy Wilder directs it. two escaping American World War II prisoners are killed. The German POW, takes place in a German POW camp. Stalag, Hogan's Heroes was
based on a true story.
Based on it was a joke. So I like knowing this is where Hogan's Heroes came from. It has very little to do with Christmas, but I just snuck it in.
You just wanted to mention the film.
I just wanted to mention the film, and it does take place during Christmas, so you can technically call it a Christmas.
Is there an old Tannenbaum?
Sings a song. So yeah, check that out. Christmas movies. Anything else?
That's let me see if I had any other Christmas movies. Elf and technically we could also see the original Michael Keaton Batman took place during Christmas.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, Bruce Wayne is having a Christmas party.
Yes.
Sure.
Sure, we can really go off on a tangent. We can run just if there's if there's a Christmas tree in the movie, then it's
yeah.
Now the thing about Christmas movies too is there's a lot of really bad ones. I mean, that's one of the problems. Everyone always tries to cash in on Christmas movies, and
because you know what though, here's why you make one. It's the same reason you should write a Christmas song if you're a musician. I think I'm going to just write one, because if you write a funny and it's catchy, it's being played
everywhere,
every year, every Christmas. So why not just make one and put all the same nonsense in there?
Yeah.
and go for it.
Yeah, how far off the track could it be?
Not that far.
No.
Well, we want to go more fan feedback.
Yes, but don't watch Jingle All the Way. That's
watch Scrooged instead.
Yeah, go watch Scrooged.
We talked about that movie. That movie's great. Bill Murray's great in that movie. All the supporting acts in that movie are great. And it's
if you want to go classic, you've always got you can always go Frank Capra.
Sure,
you can always go It's a Wonderful Life.
Or Stalag 17.
Or Stalag 17.
Those are your choices.
Or there's some great versions of Christmas Carol too, old versions. You can check those out too. But I would go Elf first. Although, wait, there's one more I want to mention before we get into that. And this I just saw again with my kids. And there is a Muppet Christmas Carol. And
what?
I'd forgotten about this. It was a movie. It was a Muppet movie, a Muppet Christmas Carol. And it starred Michael Caine as Scrooge. And I remember I'm watching this game. You know what? This is great. It's really fun. The thing that surprised me about it is how many quotes they actually took from the book, from the Dickens book. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's just weird hearing the Muppets actually say this actual dialogue. And what I love about it is that Michael Caine never looks like he's phoning it in
ever,
because
with anything.
But yeah, you and you're looking he's taking this very seriously, and he's performing against a rabbit and a duck, a frog, and a pig, but it's really good. In fact, the kids really liked it, not just because it was the Muppets, but they haven't really been exposed too much to the actual story of A Christmas Carol, and visiting by the three spirits and someone who's miserly, and what happens to Tiny Tim, and he can't get medicine, and there's an empty chair. What I loved about it is they didn't really sanitize some of the the more mature parts of the story, and they shouldn't have, because then it wouldn't be the story. So it's a really another great kind of family movie, and it's streaming right now too, so you can check that out. So Muppets Christmas Carol with Michael Caine.
That's all you need to know. So there's a cool topic that's been put on the message boards for the last year or so, and it's an intellectuals subtitled film reviews, and it was started by it's a French name, La Nuise Noisy?
La Nuise Je ne sais quoi?
Yeah, for shizzle. So starting in October 22nd of this year, he writes, or she, so at the end of the year approaching, and with the Oscar contenders being released, this year's best foreign language film submissions have now been released. A total of 83 countries have submitted films, up from last year's 76. And he puts a link of the full list. And of the 83 films, he's seen 3 of them, and then goes through
the other 81.
of ones he has seen in order of reviewing. Ida, this movie from Poland, and he
What's Ida about?
He writes, I first came to know of this film through the Film Spotting podcast, where it was included in both the host Best of the Year So Far list. The film follows the story of a nun who, before taking her vows, is told to go visit her aunt, whom, if I remember correctly, she hadn't known of before. The strongest points of the film, in my opinion, are the film's cinematography and the performance of the lead actress, and then goes on from there. And then goes into, starts listing off films from there, and then Scrugulus writes, thank you for these reviews. I know basically none of these films, but then basically there's this amazing dialogue between Scrugulus and Le Noisy.
Le Petit Bistro?
Le Petit Bistro, yeah. Yeah, let's give him a dumb American fast food chain. So, yeah, Au Bon Pain. Thanks. Le Petit Bistro. We're such assholes. We love your baguettes, is what we're saying. We love your baguettes. But there's this amazing dialogue between French onion soup and Scrugulus. Because then Scrugulus starts recommending other movies. There's a Estonian film and a Lebanese film they start talking about, and then Frenchie Frencherton then keeps writing her submissions. It goes into Cowboys from Croatia, and then just keeps listing Little England, all these cool movies. And it's a really cool thread that they keep reviewing and commenting on.
Oh, cool. So you guys definitely want to check that out.
Yeah, there's a movie, Nabat, from Azerbaijan? Yes. So this is really cool, and it's really cool to see this stuff because I'm actually learning about all of these foreign films through these posts from Scrugulus and Frenchie Frencherton. Yeah. So Petite Bakery. It's really cool, and we really appreciate you guys. And also the last post from Scrugulus is it seems that Ida just won a bunch of categories at the European Films Awards in Riga: Best Film, Best Director, Best Screenplay, and Best Cinematography.
And Scrugulus, thank you for putting stuff on the Asylum IMDb page, too. That's the same person who's been informing people on what actually happened to Asylum. So thank you, Scrugulus.
So you guys are great. So anybody listening to this, please check this out in the message boards at comedyfilmnerds.com. And Intellectuals subtitled film reviews. Now, it started back in 2013, but you can scroll through all of it. But starting October 22nd, you can see all of this year's foreign movies that these two are talking about. So thanks a lot, you guys. So I think that's this week's episode, buddy.
Yeah, we got a lot coming up. We got a great episode next week with Rich Sommer from Mad Men. And we're going to do, it'll be a really fun interview episode, too, especially get a little insight into indie film. And that's why we love doing these extra special bonus episodes with interviews with filmmakers. You get to hear Neil's voice a little bit more now, too.
Get to hear Neil's voice coming up. And, the Rich Sommer episode will be cool because he goes into what it was like working on Mad Men. And
that's next week.
Very knowledgeable film guy.
And then we have the Oklahoma City episode is going to drop New Year's week, right?
We'll drop that probably December 30th.
Right.
The Oklahoma City episode. And we're going to try to squeeze in another spoiler ep, and then, who knows? Maybe we'll drop another special year-end thank you around Christmas.
Oh, yeah. And in fact, I know you guys are asking, it's just the way things kind of fell is... and with Jackie's schedule, we will be doing a spoiler up on The Hobbit with Jackie, but it probably won't be till January just because of scheduling.
Yeah, because we're all out of town and whatever else.
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
And, Peter Jackson released it a couple days later than last year and kind of threw off our schedule.
Well, your schedule. Yeah. So, all right, my tour dates. I will be in San Diego at the American Comedy Company with Doug Benson, December 27th, and Irvine, California at the Improv, December 28, 29, and then headlining Skyline Comedy Cafe, 2 shows New Year's Eve in Appleton, Wisconsin. I think it's like 7:30 and 9:45. And then headlining Zanies in downtown Chicago, January 2nd through the 4th. And also in headlining the Improv in Harvey's Hotel and Casino in South Lake Tahoe. That is January 28th through February 1. And then I will be headlining in Vegas. First time ever headlining in Vegas at Harrah's, at the Improv at Harrah's, February 17th through 22. That's with Gary Brightwell, who was on this show.
Oh, yeah, I know Gary.
Last year or two. Who does a really cool XM satellite show on Blue Collar Network with Murray Valeriano and Bill Engvall.
Cool.
So that's that, guys. Christopher, what do you got?
I've got the Fantasy Springs Casino. I'll be doing that in Palm Springs on Martin Luther King weekend, I believe. Do you have the dates up there?
Yeah.
That is, let me see.
You could write this down before.
Yeah, no, I should have.
So 16, 17?
16 and 17, yes. And then I'll have a date in Tahoe in February. I'll have that in January. I'll let you guys know when that'll be.
Awesome. Guys, as we wind down the year, thank you so much. And those of you who, spend $20 with us once a year, we really appreciate that.
Yeah, it really helps us out. And this has been a great year for us. And we could not have done it without you guys. We want to thank you guys and, of course, all our guests and fans and Kickstarter and everyone who's helped us out. I mean, sometimes it seems like it's just a 2-person show when it's just Graham and I talking, but we have a huge system of support from interns and people from the comedy and film communities, and we couldn't do it without everyone.
And don't forget, if you still if you buy anything in the CFN store, first 10 orders, you'll $50 for Sherry's Berries. $50 gift certificate.
$50 gift card.
That's amazing. So you could just buy some from us for $20 and get.
Yeah, you're making $30.
You're making $30. And your Christmas shopping is done.
Yes. Provided you're only buying for 2 people.
Yeah. If you go to berries.com, use coupon code CFN, and of course 10% off everything in the Comedy Film Nerd store with coupon code I'm a cheap bastard.
Asshole.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm a cheap asshole.
I'm a cheap asshole. Okay, cheap bastard won't work. Cheap asshole will.
Yeah, I could add bastard.
Nah.
No, we'll keep it asshole.
You know who you are, assholes. All right, guys. Of course, don't forget, subscribe to us on the iTunes. That helps. Even if you listen to us somewhere else, just subscribe. It helps our numbers. Positive reviews help, all that stuff.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. Like I said, if you're strapped for cash, there's many other ways to help get other people to subscribe and write nice reviews on everything from iTunes to Amazon. Yeah, I mean, my book, Graham CD, people find us through Amazon as well. So people
find us through the most random ways, and spreading the word any way you can is
really
helpful. And it means we can do more cool stuff, more shows on the road, and all that other thing. So thank you guys so much. My name is Graham Elwood.
And I'm Chris Mancini. Remember, always remember, Han shot first. Don't feed him after midnight.